red flags of an abusive relationship. Now, these are not all inclusive, and keep in mind that somebody can exhibit a red flag in a relationship, and you can talk to that person about the red flag. And if they stop doing the red flag and learn new behavior and change, well, that's not a red flag anymore. That was really just a warning sign, and they're a pretty healthy person if they can self regulate and grow and have hard conversations and change, right? Because that's what we want, to be able to reflect that to people as well. So, with healthy people out of the way, let's talk about abusers. Abusive people are going to come at you with a load of things that if you were born into a narcissistic or abusive or emotionally detached, psychologically detached, physically detached, addictive kind of household, you are going to have a subconscious and a nervous system that is likely going to be very comfortable with some of these. And we want to undo that. So, things that we are no longer going to accept are jealousy and possessiveness. That is not flattery. That is not flattery. That is unsafe behavior, and we are kicking it to the curb. If somebody gets too serious too fast, that isn't your soulmate. That is not your twin flame. That is not who you're supposed to be with forever. It's not written in the stars. That is somebody testing your boundaries and testing your worth, because they have future plans to feed off your soul and your goodness. So, no, kick them to the curb. Love bombing. Oh, but it feels so nice. And it does, right? It does feel so good when somebody loves all over you and they put you on a pedestal. But here's the thing, it's not sustainable, it's not real. Yes, you are that amazing. You are. Otherwise, they wouldn't be picking on you. But it's not sustainable and it's not going to last. And the bottom will fall out of it. And real life that's abusive will hit hard and fast. So trust what love bombing is. Just trust it. If it's too much, too soon, too fast, if it's too good, it's too good to be real. If they want to isolate you, so if they make you feel guilty for wanting to have friends and other relationships or spending time alone, that is an unsafe red flag. Be aware of that. Okay? Find out the why. Dig into it. If they really just kind of start pressuring you to not attend, not be a part of real life, it's just a hard no. That is an unsafe behavior, especially when paired up with some of these other behaviors. And if they ever scare you, kick them to the curb. Nobody gets that right. And once they know they can scare you once, it's going to get worse. If they get angry and aggressive at you and it's quick, flared, it suggests that they don't have emotional regulation. They don't have control or good self-communication internally with their emotional self. It's not a healthy person for you to be around. If they pressure you to have sex, if they want to guilt trip you or manipulate you or coerce you into an early sexual relationship or a sexual relationship that you don't want, or it's just too soon, it's hard no. That's a massive red flag. They are so testing your boundaries. Or if they send you, if they ask, or if they send you sexual things, it's just no, hard no. Hard no. That's just a gross over exertion into what are you going to allow. Really, they're just testing you. If they attempt to manipulate you, things like, well, if you really cared, you would do whatever, make potato salad for 800 people. It doesn't matter if it's for one person. And if you can hear my dog snoring behind me, he's so adorable. But sorry if you can. If they boast about mistreating other people, that's just honestly cruel. That's not okay. Or if they're talking through that they set a boundary and the boundary was hard to set and they're having a conversation with you, that's not boasting. If they are literally boasting about being abusive to somebody else, and that's who they are, they're telling you they're happy with who they are. If their hypersensitivity, this is an interesting one. If they exhibit hypersensitivity, and it's interesting because as codependent people recovering from abuse, we can be really hypersensitive. And I'm not picking on anybody. I've been hypersensitive because I didn't understand my own nervous system and my own subconscious and the trauma that had happened to me. But we can unlearn that hypersensitivity, especially with the help of a therapist or coach. So we can have that as well. And that would be a red flag to somebody else, a warning flag to somebody else. That's okay, right? But when somebody is super hypersensitive to us, like we want to have a difficult conversation, or we're like emotional and our hypersensitive emotional PTSD reactions to somebody's behavior, our hypersensitivity, if they're not willing, if they're like, oh, I can't give you any space. Every time I talk to you, you just cry. Well, they're just completely saying that they don't have the capacity to show up and have a really necessary conversation with you. Take that for what it is. It's a big old red flag. If they are blaming other people for their behavior, it's always somebody else's fault. Big old red flag. Pass on that, because it's always going to be your fault. Right there. If they use drugs, okay, if they use drugs as a way to cope with life, that says everything right there. Okay. They need help, and you are not the person that is signing up to help them. If they are disrespectful and cruel to other people, if they tease children, if they tease animals, and not tease like lightly, oh, that was a funny little prank, at April Fool's Day. If they are teasing to be insensitive to pain and suffering, if they are teasing people or children, or like until they cry, or animals until they're fighting back, that is something that they need to grow out of. Big old red flag. If they are constantly moody or agitated and they don't respect your property or your privacy, big old red flags. It's important to recognize that red flags are our warning system. Normalize trusting your instincts, your intuitive gift. Like when you were born with an instinctual gift for dealing with the world to protect you. If we were born into or quickly got into abusive relationships or narcissistic relationships, our instincts have been on overload. Like our survival mechanisms have been on overload, and our instincts have been shut down. We've been detached from our instincts for, oh, there's not a dinosaur chasing me, but I still want to stay alive. So we've been in this like, oh, the dinosaur is going to chase me. I need to like hide or fight, or you've been stuck in fight flight. So you've got to work at detaching from your survival instincts, all the things that you normalized, and recognizing that when somebody is showing you red flags that we've just quickly gone through, they're showing you a glimpse at what's to come. And that's on you, whether or not you allow people's red flags to then become a daily part of the glare, daily part of your life. You do not have to allow somebody to stay in your life. It is a privilege to have access to you. Treat it. Treat your life. Treat who comes through the revolving door of your life like it is a privilege to be around you, because you know what? It is. Just because you weren't raised with people telling you that all the time doesn't make it any less true. Not all parents have the capacity that they need to have children. So it's up to you to go out into the world and learn the skills and tools to be the healthiest you possible.